Hey, what's going on? Luke here, and tomorrow sees the release of AFL 26. They might be wondering what's important to that. Why are you talking about AFL 26 considering the video is about the Rugby League career mode? I know it's a different game, but it's made by the same people. It's releasing around the same time. I think it's very relevant to Rugby League 26. And a couple of days ago on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it these days, the actual AFL page posted little screenshots of the career mode. So going back a little bit, I believe Ross said that the NRL is going to be the ones to announce the game. And this kind of backs up that further, the fact that the AFL game are posting screenshots, and it's not coming from Big Ant, it's not coming from Ross, it's coming from the actual AFL social media team. But they did post about career mode, and let me tell you, it looks so in-depth. Now there's 4 images that they did post, and all this stuff is very translatable over to Rugby League 26, so that's why I'm talking about it. This isn't something that's purely just for AFL. Like, I can't imagine them releasing a game and then a couple months later releasing on Rugby League 26 and having it not be there. It'd just be setting themselves up for absolute disaster. So that's my reasoning as to why I think we're either going to get this or something very, very similar, maybe just like a little Rugby League version of it. But we do have 4 screenshots to go over, so let's start off with the first one. Now, the first one I'm going to be showing is the actual training schedule. Now, this is definitely something we haven't seen since, I believe, about Rugby League 2. Back on the PS2, what a game, what an experience. But their Dynasty mode had like a full training mode, and it's crazy that in 2025, we're referring to a game coming out in 2005 as being the benchmark, but that was kind of what it was for Rugby League games. And quite frankly, in a lot of these big budget titles, your FIFAs and such, they don't even have this much depth. Like, I'm definitely not controlling the day-to-day training in the lead up to games for the club. And let me tell you, this isn't the only thing that's super in depth. So you can see on the screen that obviously there's training Monday to Sunday, depending on the games. I'm guessing it changes, or depending on when you play, I should say. But we do have a morning session and an afternoon session. It looks like we're going to have full customization of training. And just the fact that training's in there it's so huge, because we were just relying on, I actually don't really know how the player progression worked in Rugby League Live 4 or even Rugby League Live 3. Like, I knew that they filled up a little bit of a meter, but it seemed random. And I think that's how we ended up with some absolutely crazy overalls in career mode. So I think the fact that you've got to focus on training and you've got to set schedules, and maybe that plays a factor week to week just in terms of play fatigue and all that sort of stuff. Like, you don't want to run them into the ground. I think it's great, and it's something that you normally see in actual career simulator games, like your football managers and such. And every year when there's like a big game coming out, like your NBA and FIFA and all that sort of stuff, this is the sort of stuff people ask for, and this is the sort of thing that they do not deliver. So the fact that AFL 26 is getting it, I think that is massive. It's impressive. It's very, very good, and I think Rugby League 26 will definitely be getting it as well. But obviously we've got 3 other screenshots to take a look at, so let's have a look at the other one, because it doesn't stop there in terms of player training. Now, the next screenshot is actually, I guess, if you just go over to the next tab, because there's training and then there's development. So I'm guessing you click in training, you go to development, and you can kind of fine-tune things, I guess, because by the looks of things, it kind of just looks like your standard, not creative player, but pretty standard stuff in terms of like speed and kicking, stamina, power, like all those sort of things that you know is going to be in a sports game, as well as some more AFL specific stuff. But it doesn't look like the actual complete overall set of skills, so it looks more like a training sort of thing. So I'd imagine if you go into an actual player, there's going to be plenty more options for, you know, offloads and all that sort of stuff. But maybe in terms of training, maybe it might be ball handling, and it might cover offloads, passing, a few things like that. That's all I kind of imagine this to be. This is obviously the AFL version, so there's going to be things, you know, around the ruck, whereas in the NRL it might be the wrestle or something. I don't know exactly how they'd phrase it, but I'd say there's just a few things where this isn't like a creative play or anything. This is purely just training, and it looks like you can assign a whole bunch of points into where you want to focus on. So if you've got, I don't know, maybe a physical side, maybe you want to focus on power. If you want your team to get faster, obviously focus on speed. It seems to be a thing you can target. You can look at your team and assess your side and say, what do we need to work on? Let's work on it. Something that they do in real life, but something that doesn't happen very often in video games, if at all. Now, here's where things get very, very interesting, because training, it's great. Obviously, like I said, it doesn't happen that often in sports games, but there's usually some sort of element where you can train, and there's going to be player progression and stuff. So it is natural. It's something that we wanted. What is something that I never really thought about that is going to be in the AFL game is full control of the whole background running of a club. It seems like it's going to be a full like GM mode. You're running the club. It's not just running the team, it's running the club. And that seems like something cool. Maybe there is going to be an option where you can just play as the team, do a little career mode in that aspect, or you can have the full in-depth one, which is, as you can see on the screen right now, they're covering memberships, merchandise. You can cover so many things in terms of controlling the club. And it looks to be a case of you've got to please the fans, and it is going to play a factor, the fan support and how your team's going. So if you're not traveling too well, you lower those prices, you keep them happy. Definitely seems there's going to be an emphasis on running the club rather than just go and play some games, get the players a bit better, move on to the next week. Now, the only thing I do question is this seems great in theory, but when we're actually playing the game, is this going to be something that's super annoying? Is it going to be something that is quite glitchy? They're just a few little questions we'll have. And thankfully for us, we get to see them test run it with AFL 26, see how it goes. But if you can control things like family days and 3-game membership prices and jersey prices and stuff, I think that's crazy. Like I said, it's very like Football Manager-esque, very GM mode-like. It's so in-depth compared to what we've had. Like honestly, when Andrew Voss was talking about this game rivaling, EA and such, maybe this is what they sort of meant. Like, I don't know if the actual gameplay itself is going to be fantastic, but just in terms of all the modes and stuff that they've provided so far, Pro Team, the career mode looks absolutely amazing so far. Like, we could be in for a massive shock in this game and just how good it actually can be. Now, that pretty much covers everything, but there is one last screenshot, and I won't go into too much detail about it because it's kind of, I don't know, there's not really that important, but it shows that you can control marketing, that sort of stuff. So I guess there is going to be an emphasis on bringing in money, keeping the fans happy. Obviously, great performances, but maybe if you get more money, you can build more training facilities or something, upgrade training facilities, little things like that. Because obviously money isn't that important because you have a salary cap. So there has to be some behind the scenes as to why you would need to be changing, I don't know, membership prices. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And that's what I mean where I hope they're just not adding this stuff in because it looks cool. Hopefully it is actually practical and does work, and there is a rhyme and reason as to why it's in there. So that's my only little question mark over it. But other than that, everything looks absolutely fantastic. And I'm keen to see when the game's out, what it actually is. I can do some more videos of going over the career mode because I'm very intrigued. And like I said, we're not going to get a like for like. It's because obviously it's an AFL game compared to a rugby league game, but there is going to be enough things that are going to be similar. I mean, NRL has memberships, AFL has memberships. NRL has training, AFL has training. They're pretty simple things to translate over into a new game. And as I expressed at the start of the video, if they go and release stuff in AFL 26 and then in a month or two's time, the NRL game comes out and it's not there, people aren't going to be happy. Like, it's as simple as that. We're not going to have a game that is, a superior one. We're not going to have AFL come out and be that much better than the NRL game, especially after waiting all this time. And I dare say Big N know that. I mean, they've made it clear that Pro Team's going to be in all games going forward. So this definitely looks like something that they once they produce one for one game, they look to translate it over to all the other games. So I would say we definitely see a lot of this stuff, if not all of it, in Rugby League 26. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think this is great news. I think it shows that they've put a lot of time and care into career mode. And with Pro Team coming out, there's always that little bit of worry that they're just going to focus on microtransactions and kind of go the route that 2K, EA, all those sort of ones have gone, where everything's based around how many packs they can sell. Where it looks as Big N, yes, they have that sort of stuff, but it's not their bread and butter, at least yet. So let's just enjoy it while we can. Hopefully career mode is fantastic. Hopefully it's not buggy, it's not glitchy, and hopefully AFL is a great game as well, because I think if one game is good, I think it's a good sign for the rest of the games too. If you do happen to pick up AFL 26 tomorrow, make sure you leave a comment in my comment section. You can kind of give me a rundown on how things are. Look, I'll be honest, I expect it to be a little bit of a shit show in the first couple of days, but I think they'll get it together. But guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for watching. Just a quick little video analyzing some of these screenshots. I think it's great that the AFL themselves actually did it, and I'm assuming the NRL themselves will do it as well when it's our turn with the Rugby League game. So yeah, I'm very excited, and I'm going to end things here, and I'll see you in the next one. See yous. Well, that's the end of this video. If you happen to enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. You know the drill at this point. Everybody YouTuber says it. Just go ahead and do it. It'd really help me out. Also, why not go ahead and check out some of these other videos that are on the screen right now.